You can be a hot mess and be really wildly successful. I know, because I'm a hot mess a lot of the time. Like lately, for example, I've been feeling really tangled up and overwhelmed and confused. And I think people are suffering in silence thinking it's just them, and it is not. Hello! I am so excited to be back filming a new episode of the She Means Business show. So you may or may not have noticed, but I took a little break for a while. I felt like I just needed some space to work on some other projects we had going on. We've just made loads of amazing changes to our membership, and that's been so fun to do that. In fact, as I speak today, our points, our badges, our medals have gone live, and someone is in the race to win a one-on-one session with me, which is so exciting. So if you remember, get involved in that. And anyway, I'm excited to come back and to start creating new episodes. And something that I've seen coming up a lot lately, and I've experienced some of this myself, is, especially, when you feel you've got all these ideas, you have all these dreams to achieve something big, to make something amazing happen, but you just feel so overwhelmed and you're so tangled up and you're so stuck. And it's such a suffocating place to be. And I think that so many of us are in that place. I posted out recently and saying, just because you feel overwhelmed or you're struggling or you're confused doesn't mean that you can't become ridiculously successful. And just because you're not making money right now doesn't mean that you're failing. And I think that so many of us feel so isolated, and we feel like there's something wrong with us because we look around on social media, for example, and we see these people that they look like they're thriving and they seem like they're doing really, really well. And it just makes us feel like, what is wrong with me? Because why is this so overwhelming? Why is this so challenging? Why do I feel so confused and all over the place? Why do I feel like I'm a hot mess? I'm not making money yet, so I feel like I'm never going to be able to make this work. And you start questioning yourself, you start doubting yourself, and it's easy to go into self-destruct mode, and it's easy to get stuck there. And I wanted to make this episode to talk about this. What do you do when you are in that place where you feel so tangled up, you feel so stuck, or you feel like you're failing? And you start to question whether the dreams you have been holding for yourself can even become your reality. And so I wanted to make this because I am here to say you need to hold on to the dreams that you have of why you're doing what you're doing, and your ideas and what you want to bring to life, because you can make them work. And just because you might not be making money right now doesn't mean that you're failing. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be ridiculously successful. Just because you feel overwhelmed and confused and frustrated and struggling doesn't mean you can't also be ridiculously successful. You can be both. You can be a hot mess and be really wildly successful. I know, because I'm a hot mess a lot of the time. Like lately, for example, I've been feeling really tangled up and overwhelmed and confused. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things changing at the moment. A lot of things changing on social media. A lot of things that used to work aren't working anymore. I literally cannot tell you the number of people I have spoken to who have had launches that have completely flopped, where their ads are absolutely nosediving, where the results they used to get just aren't, they're just not getting them anymore. And I think people are suffering in silence thinking it's just them, and it is not. So I just think we need to talk about this. We need to talk about the fact that it is completely normal for us to experience these frustrations and challenges and to have these struggles. But like I said, it doesn't mean you're not on the right path. It doesn't mean you're not doing the right things. It doesn't mean you're not going to be also successful. It doesn't mean that you're actually not already successful. Sometimes I feel like I'm failing, and then I'm like, well, I'm obviously, when I look at the success we're creating, I'm like, well, we're not. But sometimes it's just our emotions, and I think also the way we perceive other people out there in the world on social media can just play with our mind and just make us feel really crappy. also, I wanted to say, for anyone that isn't making money right now and that feels like they're failing, for me, for the first 2 years of running FEA, for example, I literally made like no money. And I cannot tell you the number of people that said to me, what are you doing? Like, you need to stop doing this. People said to me that it was like never going to make money, that I didn't know what I was doing. And it made, I thought, I've got enough blooming self-doubt, and I don't need your self-doubt. But I stayed really focused, and all I knew is that I had this dream to build this platform to help inspire women and to bring us together. And I thought, if I just can keep going and I can keep working on getting my message out there to more and more people, I know I can make this work. And now it's a multiple 7-figure business. We've made millions and millions and millions. And not only that, we've had a huge impact. We've changed the lives of women around the world. So imagine if I'd have listened to those people telling me that to give up, basically. Imagine if I had have given up myself because I was like, I'm 2 years in and I'm not making money. I actually had loads of money blocks, and I really when I completely ran out of money, I realized I need to work on these money blocks and shift them so I can actually break through and start to make this sustainable and get to where I want to get to with it. I have made an episode on money blocks, so I will link it for you in the show notes. So definitely check that out if you've got money blocks. So, right, if you are listening along right now and you're like, yes, Carrie, I am feeling so confused, I'm tangled up, I feel so constricted like a coiled spring, and I just want to expand, and I want to feel like things are flowing in the right direction. I want to feel aligned. I want to feel good. I want to feel like I'm building momentum. I want to get results. I want to make this work. Then I want to share with you some things that I think that have really helped me. Because the other day I literally reached a point with overwhelm and all these different things floating around my head, and I was like, enough. Like, I have to clear the clutter and sort this out. So the first thing I want to say is, I think a really good quote that you can stick on your wall and stay focused on is this: successful people hang on when everyone else has let go. This doesn't mean you hang on and burn out. It means you hang on to your dream. You hang on to what matters to you. You hang on to where you want to get to. You don't give up on that. Like, do not give up on that. You've got to hang on to that like nothing else. Because if you can hang on to this realization that you're going to live your dream life, you're going to create success, you're going to build the business of your dreams, you're going to make the money you want to make, have the impact you want to have, whatever it is, you've got to hang on. Like, because if you let go of that, then you're never, that would just be the saddest thing ever. But so many people do give up on that. They let go of that, and then they just get on with living normal life, not really doing what they want, not really achieving what they want, and going back to reality. And you don't want that for yourself. If you don't want that for yourself, do not let go. Do not let go. You have to tell your subconscious to find a way. Tell yourself to find a way. There are ways. And it's about shifting your energy into finding that way, which I'll talk about in a second. But stick that quote on your wall: successful people hang on when everyone else has let go. And I want you to look at that, and I want you to say to yourself, you're going to hang on. You're going to hang on. There is no other option. There is no other option but to hang on. There is no other option but to hang on to this dream I have of this life that I want to live, this business I want to create, the success that I want to feel, the abundance I want to bring into my life. There is no other option. Like, this is going to be my reality. I want you to feel it in every cell of your being that that is going to be your reality. Even if you don't bloody know how, I want you to start feeling it, because what happens when we feel so consumed with the overwhelm, the confusion, the stuckness, is that then seeps in, and it's this feeling we feel a constriction around, of abundance. We don't feel like it's ours for the taking, and doubts creep in and it starts to shut everything down. Like, you need to open yourself back up, and you need to keep that quote front and center so that it reminds you, just keep hanging on, just keep hanging on, just keep hanging on. And you'll find a way. Find a way. You don't have to have all the answers, but you have to open yourself up to, I'll find a way. So talking about finding a way, one of the things that is super helpful is to get everything out of your head, like get it out. It goes into logical clutter, overanalyzing, overthinking, overcomplicating when it's all stuck in your head. You have to get it out. So really easy thing to do is get some post-it notes. So I literally, the other night, Kellen, my husband, he literally brought down my pens and these little notes, and he said, here, get it all out of your head. I literally sat there and I got everything out of my head. And I want you to sit there and write out what is coming up for you. Why do you feel overwhelmed or stuck or confused or feeling like you're failing? Why do you feel that way? Just start writing things down on bits of paper. Just start sticking them everywhere. And what is going on? Get it all out of your head so that you can just see it in front of you. What's really going on? Like, how are you feeling? You could either do this on a page with 2 columns, or you could do it with your post-it notes and put post-it notes on one side, post-it notes down the other side. But what's working right now? What's not working right now? So really just get everything out of your head. And one of the biggest questions I want you to ask yourself is, what support do I need right now? For me, when I was doing this process the other day, that for me was like the biggest question that I asked myself. Because actually in answering that question, what support do I need right now? I started to realize why I'm feeling like I'm struggling. I started to realize where a lot of my heaviness was coming from. I started to realize some shifts I could make that could make a big difference in in the overwhelm, in the tangled upness, in the struggle. And so it's only in doing this and asking yourself these questions and creating that awareness that you can actually start to see the way through this and start to change. So sit down and take, even if it's like, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, just pouring everything out of yourself, and then see where you're at. Look at what's on the table. Look at what's come up for yourself. And keep asking yourself questions of like, okay, but why am I really feeling like this? And try and go as deep with it as you possibly can to identify why you are actually feeling the way that you're feeling. And then I want you to ask yourself, what's the solution? What is the solution to this? And I want you to take each thing that's come up that's a sticking point for you and start to, so you could either take that post-it note and then get a blank piece of paper, put that post-it note in the middle and start to draw lines coming off it of like, what is the solution to this? What is the solution to this thing that I'm stuck on? And it could be that you realize, actually, I'm stuck because I'm not getting the results I want and I don't know how to get the results I want. So I need to join a mastermind group. I need to speak to some people. So for me recently, I was feeling really stuck. So we were running some ads and they were absolutely doing awful. And I was like, I literally went for a walk. And as I went for a walk, I started talking to myself, which is another thing that you can start doing. And I started saying to myself, thank you so much for the support that flows to me. Thank you so much for all the ideas that arise, the opportunities arise, but thank you for making me feel supported. Thank you for the people that show up in my life that are going to guide me. Thank you for helping me to realize the people that I could reach out to that could really help me right now. And I started to just say this to myself as I was walking, and just like whatever was popping up into my head to say to myself, because I felt so consumed with overwhelm, and that's where my head was at. Overwhelmed, stuck, overwhelmed, stuck, overwhelmed, stuck. And so I was in the wrong energy for welcoming in any kind of solution. I was so stuck on the problem. And so in doing these exercises, like writing everything down, or even like having that kind of internal dialogue with yourself where you're opening yourself up to receiving a solution, then you start to, it changes everything. So when I went for this walk, on the walk, I realized that this person can help me with this. I can reach out to this person, this person, this person. And within the space of literally an hour, I had reached out to so many people, had booked in so many calls. And I was like, wow, like support is around me when I actually open myself up to receiving support. But so often we're closed down to receiving support because we're stuck in this place of this is hard, I'm struggling, I'm stuck, I feel alone with this, and we're not receptive to welcoming in the help that we need. So looking at what are the solutions? There are solutions for all of your problems. There are solutions to help you with all the ways you feel that you don't want to feel. But it's opening yourself up to and asking yourself, what could be a really good solution for this? Who could help me? What could I go and Google? What could I go and search for? What person could I speak to? What book might help me? What do I need to learn? What could I do every day that might help support me with overcoming this feeling, whether it's journaling, whether it's meditating, whether it's watching something inspirational online, whatever it is, and just really shifting your energy. So instead of being so focused on everything that's overwhelming and confusing, your energy is then shifted to what's the solution? How do I move forward? Because I'm going to move forward. That's a non-negotiable. I am moving forward. I am making myself available to moving forward. I'm making myself available for this to be easier, for this to feel easier. I'm making myself available to progress, to build momentum, to feel aligned, to feel like this is flowing with so much more ease. Like, I think it's so often we make ourselves available for the struggle, but make yourself available for the solution. Make yourself available for it feeling easier, for you receiving the support and the help you need. And literally, it's just something we have to work on. Like, I have to work on this all the time because it's so easy to get pulled back down the hole of this is hard, this is difficult, this is overwhelming. And you can get, you get so stuck, and you have to recognize I'm stuck. I need to break out of this, and I need to make myself available for the solution, for the support. I need to receive the support. I need to receive the help. I need to receive the guidance. I'm open to receiving it. And then, for example, when you're in that place, things flow more easily. And then also doing things like, I literally have started to have, as actually every other week, but from now onwards, like a Reiki, like a sound healing Reiki session every Thursday, because I feel like that just helps me with my energy on another level. So you might not be into that, but like, what could you be doing on a regular basis that's going to help you to shift yourself so that you're in this energy of like, I'm going to do this, I can make this happen, and feeling, or not even necessarily that energy, but in the energy that you want to sit in, that feels good, that feels like things are flowing, that feels like things are aligned, that feels like you're building momentum. Like, how are you going to get it so that you're going to be sitting in that energy more often? So yeah, I think we all go through these phases of feeling overwhelmed and confused and stressed out with stuff, but it's really shifting away from the problem and focusing on what could a solution be right now, because you can figure anything out. Like, all the answers to your questions are out there. It's just about getting into that mindset of like, I'm going to find these answers. This is a non-negotiable for me. And from that place, you can build a wildly successful business. In fact, that's the only place you can build a wildly successful business from, because every single entrepreneur faces struggles and challenges and things they do not know the answer to. So we're constantly butting up against a wall that we need to figure out what's the solution, what's the answer. And we have to be creative problem solvers. We have to be able to take that inspired action to keep growing and going and growing and going and growing and going. We can't just meet that wall and be like, I'm just stuck and just stay there, which is what so many of us do. And I know I've been stuck on that wall, you know, in the past. I've waited for way too long. So doing all of these things can really help you so that you can like keep breaking through and getting to where you want. So decide what you're available for. Decide that you're available for success. Decide that you're available for the abundance that you want to flow to you. Decide that you're available to receive the support that you need to actually thrive. And decide what you're not blooming available for. Decide that you're not available for it to be a struggle. Decide that you're not available for it to feel so overwhelming. Take control and be like, take control by doing these things and getting it out of your head and being intentional about how you are feeling and where you want to go and how you want to feel. And it will change your life. It will open up more doors than you could ever even begin to imagine. It will allow more opportunities to flow to you than you could ever have realized. It will allow abundance and success to flow to you so much more easily. Like, this is available to every single one of us, yet so many people are just stuck on the problems. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to share this with you because this is the stuff that really helps me. And this is the stuff that's actually really helped me to go from being stuck, not making money, to making so much money and creating so much success and achieving my biggest goals and living the life I really want to live. It's through doing this work intentionally. But also wanted to talk about this because even when you do create success on whatever level, you're still battling with overwhelm or confusion or being stuck in, in certain ways. And it's constantly looking at, how can I make sure that I can keep going and keep flowing with this and creating success? Like, how can I make sure that this doesn't consume me and pull me back down? How can I make sure that I can rise above this and keep being the best version of myself that I need to be in order to create the life I want to live and to create the success that I want to experience? And yeah, that's what it's about. So I hope this has been helpful for you if you've been feeling just at your wit's ends with it all. Just know you are absolutely not alone, and time to light your favourite candle, get out your post-it notes and a pad and a pen, and work on yourself. Like, it's time to create space to move through this. It's time to welcome in and make yourself available for what you do actually want. So get clear on what it is that you want and let it know you're coming for it. You're coming for the success that is yours for the taking. It shifts everything. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Definitely let me know, leave me a comment or leave me a review on iTunes. I would love it, especially now I'm back. And I will see you next week for another episode of the She Means Business Show. I hope you've loved this week's episode of the She Means Business Show. If you want more help and support to build a wildly successful business, then join hundreds of thousands of women and become an FEA insider. You'll get access to some of our amazing freebies, to our bonuses, to our giveaways, to so much good stuff. You can join me over at fea.link/insider to get all of the goodness. And I will see you next week for another episode of the She Means Business Show.